Right, my cooler's turned up. That's a decent size. That's decent thickness as well. So I bought that. It was 1250 quid plus VAT, so it was 1500 quid all in. So from compressor, I'm going to have my air coming directly to the bottom area. It's already got that cooler in as well. I don't know if that's picking it up. It's already got that cooler in off of my other compressor, which is good for 260 CFM. But it's just not man enough. It just can't keep up with flow off this machine. So I'm going to leave that one in anyway, because it's already plumbed up and piped up and everything. So it's all going through that, and the fan on the machine is sucking air from the front through that and doing what it needs to do. So the door's got to be shut while that's running. So then when that air's coming out this way, I'm going to put it into here. I've just found these in the box of bits. So I'm going to put it into there so air goes into there. I need to tighten that up because I just found that and all. Because this cooler it's an oil cooler off of something else. I don't know where it's off, but I bought it from a factory, from a bloke that makes radiators, and he advised me just to buy this one instead of having one med. So it says it's plenty big enough to do that 400 CFM, 425 CFM, plus it's rated at 4,000 something PSI, which I only get up to 125 anyway, so it's plenty good enough. So air in, I'm going to leave that just as, I might even put an auxiliary on that eventually and put a little bit of a tap on it just so I can do a bit of blow down work. Maybe blow up van out weight and stuff, I don't know. I've got these here that I can use, so I don't know. We'll fathom that out. I'll bung it off for now because I don't need it. These are for like bleeders and stuff when it's used for hydraulics or for water. I can't remember what he was saying. But anyway, I don't need to bleed it because it's only air that's going through it. My air's going to come out of here. I can either go in here and come out here, or in there and out there. So what I'm going to do, it's nearly the same height as that. So that will probably, I don't know, might have to put a little block under its feet. But I'm going to rejig this now. I'm going to move this so that it kind of sits in front of this, and then that water trap takes bulk at water, and then this filters oil and air. And yeah, do your research on them, the Le Mans filters. That one's 500 CFM rated. That's rated for 260. I could probably do with a slightly bigger one of them or another one of those, but I think I'm just going to run it as it is, because I reckon once I've cooled the air down enough, like through that, and then it goes through that trap and that trap, and then it gets to the rest of my traps like my blast pot and stuff, because they've got, oh, it's on my camera, they've got stuff on them anyway. So I'm going to rejig this. I'll just put these in. I'm just going to unbolt this. Oh yeah, I didn't show this on video. I put water traps through my chassis, go across there, and then they drip out. Another little tip, another little thing I want to do eventually is probably tee all these into one pipe, and then put some sort of exhaust on end of here so it's not loud when it's bleeding off. Because while it's bleeding off, it's doing that shh noise. So I just want to probably put some sort of air exhaust on it. But there's them two, and there's a couple more from that side things that need to be piped up. This will not have a water trap on it, this will not bleed off. This just blows its air into that and then that catches it. Because it's impossible to separate water and oil and air while it's hot, and that machine, while it's making its air, it's unavoidable, it gets hot. So then when it's pumping its air into here, it's hard to separate that water, and I'm having a bit of bother with it coming through the pot. So that's what I'm going to do today. Oh yeah, forgot to add, I need to put some sort of 12 volt fan on this side, or even this side, to blow air through. But as long as it's plumbed up, that's not really a big job, just to put a fan on it. I'm going to run it 24 volt off a compressor, but if I can't get order a decent sized fan that's 24 volt, I'll probably just run oh, I don't like doing it because van's not running. I could run 12 volt from van, or 24 volt from that, or I could even go down pneumatic route and have a pneumatic fan on it, but that's taking off the air that it makes. So that's something else I'm not right happy about. I don't want to take off the air. I don't want it to produce its own air to cool itself. You can get fans that's pneumatic anyway, but that setup, ideally I could have done with going here with it, because this room's like not really used. It's just a storage, just storage for a minute. So if I could get that set in here, it'd be bang on. But this door needs to open. You got to get to batteries and all service parts in it and stuff. So that's the reason why that didn't go up here. And another reason why, it sucks cold air from this side and it blows hot air out of that side. So really you can't have it this way, because it can't suck, and then it's going to blow all exhaust into the van that way. Well, yeah, it's exhausting its hot air that way. I don't want it to do that, so quickest way for me to do it is grab air from here and spit hot air out at the driver's side. Yeah, good thing about this filter, this cooler, it came with these feet already on it, so it's got its own little bracketing. I might make something that bolts to this and then bolts to that. I don't know, we'll see. But there's some screw holes in top that I could even just put a bracket across to the top of there, right from that to that, and that'll hold it and stop it from flopping about while it's in transit. Now let's crack on it. Right, slight change of plan. Instead of going at that side, I'm going to this side. Lab inspector's here. Anyway, I found this old pipe what I had from, I don't know if you can see it, bottom of that cooler used to run to taps, which are now on end of there. So this pipe what I had made up for that will fit from there to there, and then all I've got to do is get that one. I can pass it back through there and go through here. That'll feed to there, but then I've got to get from there to my blast pot and my helmet. A little bit tricky, but I'll follow it. I might even drill an hole in chassis and go full chassis with pipes up to underneath. I could run along top of the tire up it pipe somewhere. Right, reason being why that's so tight to go in is because these fittings are UNF, I think they are, and that's BSP, or that's UNF and this is BSP, and these don't quite fit, but because it's an alley housing, aluminium housing, it stretches it and I can make it fit. And to be fair, it's only air that's going through it, so it doesn't really matter as long as it don't leak. It shouldn't leak anyway. That's an upscale of that, that's 1.5 inches and that's 1.25 inches. That's an inch and a half, I think it is. Inch and a half, inch and a half, inch and a half, 2 inch. I know this is choking it, but an inch and a half, inch and a quarter fittings there. Yeah, let me show you something. That's the flow of air that's going to be going through it. So let's see what you're looking at. That's the flow of air that's going to be going through. And my blast nozzle is half inch thick. So I've got an extra inch of air to feed this, my helmet. I'm never gonna max that out. Not with 425 CFM anyway. It's never gonna do it. A quick way of testing to see if it's gonna choke it up is put this on. I know how loud this revs. Well, there's a rev counter on it, so I know how many revs it should produce when it's on full air demand, and it's on free air demand, so there's no choking it, no in its way. I know what revs it should be sitting at. I think it's 3,200 RPM or whatever it is. And if all this is connected up, and then you open these taps on this side, and it's not getting to them revs, it means that something's choking it. So something in this line is slowing it down, and your compressor can't physically push out that much air. So now I know when I couple all this lot up, I'll do that test, and if it is revving its tits off, I know that there's no stopping it. I know that it's got free travel. There's no reducing its flow. My only bugbear now with this is I can't get a fan that's a decent sized fan that can sit on back of here. I'm going to be limited to because this door needs to open. So where it's going to sit, it'll swing up here. The door will swing up that direction, so I can only get a fan down there. So probably a 14-inch fan, maybe something like that. I'll follow it out anyway. That's got an hydraulic collar on it, but that hasn't. So it will sit flush against that face, but I'm going to put some tape on it anyway, just because I've got something that's easy to do. I don't think this tape will do much at all actually. It might lock threads a little bit, but that's about it. Right, switch. So that little bit of flex will just make up for a bit of travel. It'll just allow for just having a flexi on there. And to be fair, that's going anywhere. The more I allow myself to go that way, the better this will be. I'll be able to put a fan there, as long as that clears it. So what's that? Just missing that top lug there, to the middle. So it's just that top corner. Put a decent sized fan down here. I need to tighten that one up. That's it, that cross member chassis. Can only hope that I ain't hit a bleeding wire or something under there. Right, we've got everything fixed in place now. That's solid. Solid. That should have a little bit of a give in it if it's now. Don't need a bracket across top. Just need to filter, make a fan for there now. It would be ideal if I could get a super slim line and fit a big one across front here. But my curtain shuts on that. So needs to stay inside. It's got to stay inside because I'm at my maximum. I'm not allowed to go any wider than that and that. That's maximum I'm allowed to go. 8 foot 8 inch I think it is. I'm not sure. Need to get plumbed up now to that. Right, I've run my pipe through here. I could do with a shorter pipe to be fair, but that's all I've got, and I can't crimp these ends on because it needs to go to a shop to get it cut, and then yeah, it's got to go to a shop. So I'm just going to run it as it is. I'm going to put, I've just found this in my box of tricks, so that let's go onto there, that'll screw into there. I'd like a ball valve on that to be fair. I don't know what that dog's barking at. I'd like a ball valve on there so I could turn air off to stop it, like, because it's a nice handy place to shut air off. Instead I've got to reach over there and shut it off here. I suppose it's not too bad though, because that curtain will be open while it's running anyway. Got to reach in and grab them if I need to. Right, let's do this. That's that all bolted in and buttoned up. I'm just going to run a pipe now from here to my blast pot and one for my helmet. Nice neat install that. Could have done with pipe being a bit smaller, but doesn't matter. Right, what I want to know is it even been fixed properly if you ain't used tie wraps and gaffer tape? Look at that. Nice little shroud. I've not got another fan, so I'm just going to use this one for now. I probably might put some gaffer tape over that in case it rains on it. It's going to ruin my cardboard. But gaffer bodge. Proper bit of bodge in that. Nice little skirt for it. I don't know how long it's going to last. Probably one day maybe. I don't know. It's a bit tricky to get it. It's a bit tricky getting in now. This is the only fan I've got for now anyway, so I'm just going to run that. It kinda fits. Kinda. Nearly. The only problem is that's 240 volt. Well, it's 110 into a transformer, into electric. So I'm not fully mobile no more. I need to let that get up to speed. It's going to take off. Good, beautiful. Need to get from there now to my pot. I'm done. I'm happy with that. Let's see how good it performs. Okay, if you're wondering how good this cooler is, watch this. That's top of that, isn't it? That's water that otherwise would have been in air. Ah, that's only 45 minutes worth of blasting. So for 45 minutes I intend that tap open. I just opened it now, so I'll blow out on its own. I have been running another, I've been using this filter as well. So that's my first water trap. It comes from cooler, gets water trapped here, and then this has been separated with water as well. So whatever didn't get past that, this will get it. Whatever that is. So basically that's bone dry, that. And then the filter there from that, put the glass pot into the helmet. What I do need to do now is set a pipe that's that ball. I need that size with the glass pot because I've just had to that one. I've just had to change these ends apart. See if I can show you one. I'll find one out at the other side and I'll show you what I mean. That one, that bore of that pipe, with that fitting, this bit in here, that was the side of the pipe, this is in the fingertip, 3/4 inch. So that's 3/4 inch pipe, that's 19 inches. So that's 3/4, but that's full bore, that one. That don't really matter because that's from the helmet, I don't really need that size from the helmet. But I'll show you that. This is what I used to use. That's bigger than my finger, so that fitting and that pipe is slightly bigger. That would only just to put me on until I could get one of those big pipes. You know that big fat one that I normally run? That's what I normally run to my glass pot. But this has been putting me on. And that's not too bad to be fair, that size. I can get away with that. But the one I've been running on that pipe then, look at that one. That one. So basically that can, can't really hide it, but just hook the bleeding thing. Can't get my finger in that one. It's been restricting my flow, slowing me down a little bit.